The Keltner channel requires settings for both the exponential moving average and the average true range. These settings are typically between 10 and 20 periods. This is the case regardless of your trading time frame. Experiment with alternative settings. I use 15 periods. Whatever you decide, be consistent. You want your eyes and your mind to get used to processing the same calibration. All the examples in this course will use a 15-period setting. You also need an ATR multiple. This is the distance between the center line and the outside bands of the channel. A multiple of 1.5 ATRs produces a channel that contains about 60% of price action. I like to be more selective than this. Remember, breaking through the channel should be a noteworthy occurrence. I wouldn't call something that happens 40% of the time very noteworthy. Increasing the multiple to 2.5 captures around 90% of price action. This means that only 10% of price activity falls outside the channel. This could be too restrictive. The combination of this 90% exclusion rate, coupled with the other filters we'll cover later, would leave you with very few trades. I find that a multiple of 2 or somewhere in that area to be good. This setting covers roughly 80% of activity. This is a nice balance for me by the time I apply the other selection filters we'll learn. Here's a sample price chart. It could be for any market on any time frame. Let's overlay Keltner channels using ATR multiples of 1.5, 2, and 2.5. You can see how channel size changes the number of price bars that push outside. As discussed, we'll go with 2 times multiple. It's easy to spot the excursions from the channel. These price bars that pop above or below the outer bands alert us to look for a pullback in the opposite direction. All the other price bars, those fully inside the channel, are removed from consideration. They might offer good setups for other trading strategies, but not for a pullback trade under this framework. This elimination process allows you to quickly scan markets to determine prospects. I avoid one type of channel excursion. Look at the last bar in the upper right of the chart. Price makes a very strong move outside the channel, but then reverses most or all the way back. This leaves a long tail that can indicate price exhaustion. It increases the risk that the trend, at least in the near term, might not continue. With the benefit of hindsight, you can see that some setups on this chart would have profited and some would have lost. This downtrend broke under the channel and then pulled back. The trend then continued lower. This would have been a winning trade. Here's an uptrend that pushed above the channel before pulling back. Price started to recover, but gave up and finally rolled over. This trade would have produced a loss under the framework this course will teach. It's important to remember that even the best traders and the best systems take losses, and plenty of them. They can't be avoided, and that's okay if you limit them and manage them. We'll discuss this later in the course. Now we know how to use a Keltner channel to detect strong price moves. Should we trade every pullback that comes after a channel break or be more selective? That's the subject we'll discuss next. But first, let's do a quick activity to get you acclimated to the Keltner channel in your markets and on your trading platform.